Hello one and all, my name is Ryan Bruce, my friends call me Fluff, and today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we check out the WA-8000 tube condenser mic from Warm Audio. Warm Audio has a really good history of accurately replicating highly desirable, most often completely out of reach gear for the studio environment, and the WA-8000 is a microphone I've wanted to check out for quite a long time since it originally came out, because the microphone that it is capturing and cloning is a very polarizing one. Now, before we go any further, this is not a sponsored video. However, I did request the WA-8000 from Warm. They were gracious enough to send it over, but they get no say-so in the making of this video, and all thoughts and opinions are still mine. Now, let's just get this out of the way. The WA-8000 is a clone, a replication of sorts of the legendary Sony C800 microphone, which first kind of burst onto the hip-hop scene in the 90s, and it was famously used for, Boyz II Men, Mariah Carey. Dr. Dre tried it for the first time in the studio and instantly ordered, I think, 3 of them on the spot. Those microphones are built by 2 people, and typically, the back order is years long, and used ones on the used market go for, $16,000 to $20,000 in some cases. It's pretty nuts. However, the nice folks at Warm Audio have graced us with the WA-8000, which is their take on the Sony C800. Now, right off the bat, the WA-8000 is about $1,200, which is dramatically less than, you can still buy a C800 new today. However, you're going to be waiting 2 or 3 years in some cases, and you will be paying about $14,000 currently as I film this video. That price always seems to be going up and fluctuating. However, $1,100 or $1,200 versus $14,000. Let's see if we hear, $13,000 of difference in the WA-8000. Now, right now, I'm going straight into my Neve 1073 preamp. I'm using no post-processing of any kind, and if I do, I will note that on the screen. I'm just going straight into the preamp. I'm not compressing. I am not EQing at all. To my ears, the C800 is about the crispness of the top end and the enunciation and the tongue rolling over the teeth when you sing and project and talk without being harsh. Like, that's kind of its signature sound. And I have used a real 800 in the past, and we used it for some of the vocals on my band's newest album, as well as some acoustic guitar tracks, but mainly vocals. And it's so brilliant in the top end that you really step back and go, hey, what mic is that? And this has that effect. The WA-8000 gave me that same effect I heard when I initially heard the C800. Now, as a point of reference only, I will now switch back and forth between the WA-8000, $1,200, and the Neumann U87 AI microphone, which is about $3,700 by the time I'm filming this video. Now, this is not meant to be representative of the similarities between these two microphones, because they are wildly different microphones. However, the U87 is a classic microphone that has been around for decades. We all know how that sounds, and this is meant to be used as simply a point of reference, because in my mind, when I think of nice, crisp top end, I think of the U87. So I'm going to be switching back and forth while I tell you about these microphones. However, from my ears, the 800 is a little shifty in the mid-range compared to the U87. The U87 was originally meant to have a lot of top end to compensate for the high-end loss that was prevalent in the tape machines in the 60s and 70s. I don't know if you guys knew that. So it was really just a top-endy version of the 67 loosely, not technically. However, the C800 originally was meant to really just go just all out, no holds barred, tube condenser with the heat sink on the back, the famous heat sink on the back, which gets super hot. However, I will note the WA-8000 here doesn't get crazy hot and doesn't have the reliability problems that some of the C800s have, which I know, I think 4 studio owners that have ended up getting rid of their original Sony C800s because they would just break down and overheat and not work in the middle of a session, and they kind of got tired of the unreliability, so they would move on to other things such as a Neumann U-87. So now the WA-8000 maintains a crispness with a full-bodied character, and I think that has a lot to do with the 6UA6 new old stock tube that is in it. That just is going to give some sauce to it, but yeah, these two mics are really, really great mics. They're very, very different microphones. However, you know, again, the WA-8000 is $1,200, and the Neumann U-87 AI is $3,700. That's pretty nuts. Now, we'll also note that because this is a tube condenser microphone, it needs lots of juice, and therefore it comes with its own separate power transformer in the very nice blow molded case, as well as a Swiss-made cable. These cables are often overlooked, but it's very, very critical that a high quality cable is used from the microphone to the power supply, and they have supplied that cable very, very nicely. Everything is very, very nice, and when you consider the fact that, you know, the WA-8000 has an external power supply in addition to the actual mic, as well as a shock mount, $1,200. I mean, in my mind, that's a really great deal. Also, this thing sounds amazing. So where does that leave us? Well, if you are not wanting to spend, you know, upwards of, you know, $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 for a Sony C800 microphone and wait 3 years for it, I would highly recommend you check out the WA-8000 from Warm Audio. This is not the first C800 clone out there. However, I do think this is probably the best one, in my opinion. Now, I have not tried them all. However, I have heard many a different clone, and there's plus and minuses to all of them. However, this really seems like Warm went all out in designing this thing, in my opinion, and it just sounds really, really good. I don't know. It's just something a little different than the U-87 or a FET 47, or, I mean, literally any vocal mic. This is something a little left of center, and it's no wonder why it's still popular in the hip hop world even today. This is a favorite of literally everybody on the radio today. Katy Perry, Post Malone, etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on. So this is something that I would keep in my mic locker for a long time, and yeah. You can actually touch the heatsink as well. All applicable links down below in the description. With that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.